Hi, welcome to QA Scripts. In this video, we will learn what is Selenium, what is Selenium IDE, and how to install Selenium IDE in our system. Selenium is a chemical element with symbol Se and atomic number 34. You might be thinking Selenium is a wonderful open source tool we are using in automating some of the browsers, but here I am saying Selenium is a chemical element. Yes, basically Selenium is not from a testing word, or it is not a testing terminology. It is basically a chemical element. Here is the snap which shows how a selenium element will look like. Selenium is found impurely in metals, sulfide ores, copper, where it is partially replaces the sulfur. Commercially, selenium is produced as a byproduct in the refining of all the ores what I have explained above, most often during production. Selenium salts are toxic in large amount, but trace amounts are necessary for cellular function in many organisms, including all animals, and is an ingredient in many multivitamins and other dietary supplements, including infant formula. Then let us try to understand how selenium is related to our QA world. In 2004, there was a person, Jason Huggins. Of course, he is into another company. He has found one company called SauceLab, and he is a sponsor for Selenium now. In 2004, he was working as a tech lead in a company called ThoughtWorks, and he used to write programs for in-house application. That was the time Google started using JavaScripts in most of their applications, such as Gmail and Maps. In ThoughtWorks, there was a facility to develop on one browser and run the same program or application on another browser. It is like cross-browser testing. In this way, there was a feature implemented in JavaScript that would be working in IE but not in Mozilla Firefox. So if find and file a bug, developer would have fixed it in one browser, say Mozilla Firefox, but that was not working in another browser like Internet Explorer. Hence, even though developer fixed that issue, but the fix was not applicable in different browser. So this was the biggest issue what he was facing. It was a challenge for him. He wanted to come up with one of the initiative to overcome that challenge. So he decided to come a way, and he wrote one automated test so that it can run on all browsers. So that was the genesis of Selenium tool. So the automated test what he has written, that was the origin for Selenium tool. He developed automated tests using Java, and it was working, and it was testing on a different browser some of the functionality of application by interacting with browsers. He got excited and he wrote a mail to his friends attaching that jar files to the mail, saying that you can cure mercury poisoning by taking selenium supplements. In 2004, there was a company called Mercury and there was a paid or commercial tool. Of course, now also we have that tool, but it has been acquired by some other company. So he wanted to say in his mail that he found one tool or jars which is going to work against to the another tool, that is paid tool, and he wanted to say that he found one tablet, that is selenium, for a poison, that is mercury. Hence he used a term called selenium in his mail, and the friends started using that jar files. It was so simple and it was so useful as well, hence it got more popularity in less time. As soon as they started using jar files, they also started using a term called selenium. Hence the selenium got famous as a QA tool. Let us look at who is working behind the selenium tool. As all we know, selenium is a open source tool or jar files. We don't need any licenses to be purchased to use selenium. But there are number of contributors still working for selenium IDE and other components to make it better and use. Here is the list of people or contributors who is working behind the selenium, and here is the pick of all of them. If you want to donate, you can also do it by clicking on a link which is present on seleniumhq.org, that is selenium website. Let us look at selenium and its different parts. Selenium is not a single tool. It has come up with different flavors or components. What are the different components we have in selenium? First and foremost component of selenium is selenium IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It means selenium IDE is a software. This will not going to work on its own. Standalone, it's not going to work, but it's going to work on sitting on another software as a integrated development environment. So to work with selenium IDE, we need Firefox browser. Firefox browser is a open source software. On that, selenium IDE is going to sit as a extension or a add-on. Another component of selenium is selenium RC. RC stands for remote control. There is a famous component of selenium is WebDriver, and another very important and very famous is selenium grid. After some time, they have combined selenium RC jar files as well as WebDriver jar files, and they have come up with another tool called selenium 2. But we are going to call selenium 2 as a selenium WebDriver as a famous tool, and currently almost all companies are using selenium 2 or selenium WebDriver. They are one and same. Let us look at in brief what is selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a plugin for Firefox browser. It will help us to record the script and play it back on the browser. It will also help us to enhance the script by having breakpoint at each and every statement of script. Selenium RC, here this will help us to execute the script written in any programming language using JavaScript. In the sense, for Selenium IDE, we don't need any programming knowledge or experience. We can just use record and play back because we have very good user friendly interface. There will be a button called record and stop, then you can play it back. When it comes to Selenium RC, this needs programming experience or knowledge to use. We have to import the jar files to Eclipse. Then we have to use the classes of the Selenium RC and write a automated test. Then we can execute that test on multiple browsers. Whereas in Selenium IDE, it will work only on Internet Explorer, not Internet Explorer, only on Firefox. But whereas Selenium RC will going to work on different browsers, but we need programming knowledge to work with Selenium RC. WebDriver is also same like Selenium RC, but it has more advantages than RC. So executing script in any programming language by directly communicating to browsers. In Selenium RC as well as Selenium WebDriver, we can use any programming language such as Java, Ruby, Python, C#, so on so. We will explain in deep what is the difference between Selenium RC and WebDriver, how to use, and how can we automate and run on different browsers in next videos. Selenium Grid. This is a very useful component when it comes to cross-browser testing. Say I have one automated test. I want to execute the same test on different browsers at the same time. This Selenium Grid will help us to execute one test script on Internet Explorer or Firefox or Chrome at a time. Let us look at Selenium IDE in deep. Selenium IDE is an integrated development environment for Selenium script. So we can use Selenium IDE along with Firefox. So Firefox will get an extension of this IDE. Here is the snap how exactly the Selenium IDE is going to look like. Selenium IDE is not only recording tool, but it's a complete IDE. What is meaning of complete IDE? Let us look at some of the features, then we can understand what is complete IDE. Easy record and playback. As I said, Selenium IDE will allow you to record test cases on your browser, and also it will allow us to play it back. When you record, it will record or capture all the interactions what you are going to do with the browser, such as clicking on link, clicking on button, selecting the drop down values, so on so activities you are going to do on browser. The same activities will going to capture by tool as a statement. Once you play back, the same statements are going to replicate on your browser. Intelligent field selection will use IDE names or XPath. If you want to work with any element on your browser, the element description should be there with the tool. So that description will be captured and will be saved in the Selenium IDE tool using element locators. Here are the element locators I have explained, that is ID or name or XPath. In future videos, we'll be explaining in detail what is ID, what is name, and what is XPath. Also, what is CSS locators, DOM locators, so on so in detail. Autocomplete for all common Selenium commands, walkthrough test, debug, and set breakpoints. It will allow us to set the breakpoint, and we can debug the test case if it is failing. We can also save the test in the form of HTML or Ruby script or any other format. It supports user extension.js file. It means you can write your own customized classes in JavaScript, and you can attach that JavaScript to Selenium IDE so that the customized classes can be used in the Selenium IDE to enhance the use of Selenium. Options to automatically assert the title of every page. In the sense, we have option to place one assert command. This will help us to verify or have a check on each and every page once you navigate from one page to another page. So if there is a difference in the expected title of page and the actual title of page, the script will fail automatically. There is also new things have been implemented in Selenium IDE, that is plugins. You can add many plugins from Selenium official website, and this will help us to enhance the script, and it is making easy to record the script and play it back using Selenium IDE. Let us look at how to install Selenium IDE. As I explained, Selenium IDE is not going to work on its own, but it needs one software. That is, Firefox browser is the one software. On this, it will sit as an extension or a plugin or add-on. So, and one important point we need to remember, this will going to have extension for Firefox browser only, not for any other browsers. So if you want to install or if you want to add it as a add-on to a browser, then you have to launch Firefox browser, type a website called seleniumhq.org. This is official website of Selenium. You will find Selenium IDE as well as Selenium RC, WebDriver and Grid jar files in this website. Other than this website, you will not find anywhere. So please use seleniumhq.org. This is an official website. After typing seleniumhq.org, you will get the page. In that page, you will be having a tab called Downloads. Click on Download. Once you click on Download, you will be able to see different sections. In that section, there is one section called Selenium IDE. In that section, there will be a link with a version number. Click on version number link. It will pop up one small window or pop up saying Firefox prevented this site from asking you to install software on your computer, and there will be a allow button. Click on allow button. As soon as you click on allow button, you will get one window saying software installation, and there will be a install now button. Click on install now button, and the Selenium IDE will going to install in your browser, and it will ask you to restart the browser. Click on restart button, which is going to appear on your Firefox browser. After restarting, you will be getting one icon at the right upper side as a Selenium IDE icon, as I showed in red circle. If you are not got Selenium IDE icon on your browser, then click on open menu. In that open menu, there will be a option called developers. Click on developers. Then you will be able to see Selenium IDE along with icon just below the get more tools. You can also use keyboard controls or keys such as Alt, Control plus S, so that it will help us to open Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE will be looking like the snap what I have showed. It will allow us to record the test cases and replay it back. About recording and replaying back and how to install plugin on Selenium IDE, how to use and how to make it very robust, how to export the test cases and all will be explaining in next videos. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or doubts, please mail us using mail IDs info@qascripts.com or qascripts25@gmail.com. You can also call us on the number 8095916908. Thanks for watching this video.